talking about new projects and sharing their overview, my way, of course, is something that I really enjoy to do, regardless of their nature, whether it be a degen play, whether it be a minor, a serious project, a serious DeFi project, is something that I usually disclaim at the beginning. This one is right now, on my list at least, a degen play, even though when I explain what this does, you'll understand that it's a bit above that line, so to speak. But again, when you don't have a track record, you just had to put everything at the beginning or the start line, right? So Green Figures is gonna launch based on the counter that you see on the screen right now in about 2 days, 13 hours. So by the time I post this, it's gonna be most probably in less than 2 days, all right? So I'm gonna go over the main stuff, of course, discuss the audit because you can see the links in front of you and just draw a very simple conclusion. As I normally start these, first things first, security. Now they have been audited by the stamp. Yes, the stamp has a track record of auditing mainly minor project or low tier projects. So again, this solidifies my previous argument. But if you quickly look at the report, so just quickly, you can clearly see that everything that they have labeled, for example, owner has access to funds. Now again, disregard the overall score because we don't care about the good stuff. Usually we look at the bad stuff, at the issues. So if you drop back down a bit and you look at the backdoors or the owner privileges, you can clearly see that all the owner privileges that are listed right here, for example, change scheme address, inject profits, team withdraw, repay investor capital. So all of these things, because the owner has access to all of the functionalities of the smart contract, they make sense because of the nature of the project. And that is the point, right? So if the nature of the project demands the owner to have these privileges, then it makes sense. So it all falls down on you trusting who that owner is. And that is the main tipping point. So if you're a bit untrustworthy, more to speak, so it's always better to let these things run for a bit to make sure, or like I said, because you don't really know who's behind this, treat them as a gamble play, throw in some if you want to gamble with this. They also seemingly did a KYC certificate with these guys, Anony Docs. Now, the main issue I have with this is that you don't get access to this information, but the entity has. So I guess how this works is that if there is some sort of rug, scam whatsoever, these guys will be able to provide all of this information that they have on the people behind the project, so they can proceed with and take them out, for example, in a more legal way, so on and so forth. So, which is fine. If that's the case, that's completely fine. I guess I will do a bit more research on these guys. There's their website here. I'm gonna do that. So these two sides are more or less covered, but again, keep in mind that yes, okay, the audit overall was cool, but yeah, so the owner has access to funds. So again, if you don't really trust who these people are, it's always safe to assume that whatever you're investing is most probably lost, with the hope of making some money when you do. All right, so with that, I'm gonna jump into explaining what this does. It's important to note that it was specified in the audit report that this is a very simple smart contract. And here's why. So here is what the project promises you, right? So you are an investor, you take your BUSD, and then you use that BUSD to enter the platform. Now there is a minimum deposit, as you're most probably familiar with all of this approach. It's labeled on the website, we're gonna see it shortly, but you put your BUSD into a Forex trading fund because that money is not going to be sitting in a smart contract doing nothing. So all the money that people invest is pulled up in a fund that is immediately withdrawn and is used to perform Forex trades. So if in 1 week there's 1,000 BUSD invested, all of that 1,000 BUSD is going to be used. So right here and there, you are making the choice to take your money out and trust that these people are going to use that money wisely to profit from Forex trades. So here is the first risk, so to speak, all right? So keep that in mind. Because whatever is generated from these trades, and speaking about trades and about the platform, the brokers they're going to be using, I'm going to talk about this after this directly. So they make their trades on a weekly basis, and then at the end of the week, they're going to either incur a a profit or a loss, right? So if yield is made, so if they make money off of these trades, and I assume they will lose less risky plays to do their trades, then whatever money they make is gonna be distributed on a weekly basis. 18% of those profits will go back to the team. Now, they say that this is going to be split between going back into the fund, so they're going to put something back to add more to the Forex fund, and they're going to take some for themselves, most probably in the form of salaries, management, marketing, whatever you want to call it. The rest, 80%, minus 2%, keep that on the side. So 80% is going to flow back to the investor. So right here and there's something that I like, is that they're not promising a return, which is something that is textbook ROI or minor. So they're not telling you you're gonna get 1, 2, 3% a day, and that is good, all right? That is a positive approach to this project. So right off the bat, the APR is dynamic. So whatever they make is gonna be split based on whatever you provided, which is good. So far, so good. And it even gets a bit better with the fact that you don't incur any fees when you deposit and when you withdraw your profits. That's also something on the plus side, and you can withdraw your capital after 28 days. So overall, they are ticking away all the signs of your basic Ponzi/miner, which is good. Now, I'm not saying that this project is amazing. I'm not saying that there is no risk whatsoever. I'm labeling everything, right? The pros and the cons. You're trusting people with your money. You're gonna hope they make money on these Forex trades, but at the end of the day, you're not paying any deposit fees. Your money is not trapped. Hopefully, if they don't incur losses, you're gonna be able to take back your money after 28 days. Now, the only thing that is textbook there is the referral fee, and that is that 2%, that if you take 100% of the profits, discount 80 and 18, you're left with 2%. They're gonna give it as a direct referral reward to, people who join under other people's links. So this is the full-blown overview and mechanics of how this, operates. There are pros, there are cons. It's up to you if you want to decide to, dabble with it. Now, before I end this, I'm not gonna, waste your time with going into the DApp or app as they labeled it here. So it's very simple. You can access it from the main website, all right? And it gets you here. And this is where you invest. You see how much money in total you are acquired to profit from. And the thing that I don't really like is this part, the compound part, because in this whole context, it doesn't really make sense, right? So you have invested an amount of money, X amount of USD. You're supposed to get some profits based on your share of the pool, which makes sense, all right? So compounding, what this does is basically adding your share of the pool on top of others. So you're most probably, for example, if your, profit amount for the week is $10 on 100. So instead of your share being $100 out of 1,000, for example, so that's 10%, add that $10, now your share is 11%. Now, of course, it will be diluted if more people enter and if the same amount of profits is made. But the point of having a compound button here, logically speaking, is to add your share to the pool, which is fine, I guess. It's not something that I'm really with or against. I just said at the beginning, I don't really like, because whatever you're in, all right? So if you want to put more, you put more, which only makes sense to me. Now, if you can also take it from another perspective, it's like you're reinvesting your profits, which also would be fine, I guess, all right? So overall, this compound button, is a bit controversial, but I guess it makes sense depending on how you approach it. And they have specified that they're using this brokerage, it's called FBS. So apparently it has decent reviews. So it's good from a fees perspective, easy to operate, etc. And I think they're using MetaTrader to operate those trades. Most probably it's going to be through bots. I don't think it's going to be humans operating these. It's going to be most probably bots, but more to be discovered, I guess, right? So you can read a lot of reviews on FBS. So Trustpilot, I think, gives it about 3.1 stars, 3.2, which is not so bad. And for example, this website gives it 4.2 overall. So there's a lot of information out there for you to check. if everything is going all right. And you can even access the trades whenever they start happening on live trades that will take you to their book, their order book. So I'm gonna end it here. All right, so I tried to make this as objectively and simplistically as possible. So I provided everything you need to know, the pros and cons, the risks, and the things that are a bit better than your typical miner. So of course, if they are generating profits conservatively, dynamically, and they're actually, splitting those profits, and it makes sense, and these guys are gonna be running for a while, then great. All right, so I really hope I brought you some value with everything that I shared. I hope you stuck around till the end. Thank you if you did. See you in the next one. Have a good one.